So this is going to be on how the malignant narcissistic psychopaths at this church actually work versus the stupid shit. Emotionally stunted, you're going to require this for that. Every psychopath is a baby. Chronic self-absorbed, self-preoccupied behavior. They think of themselves first. Limited or complete lack of empathy, lack of guilt or remorse. Disregard for your well-being, safety, and those you love. They do what feels best. They do not learn from past mistakes and continue to repeat behaviors that have negative consequences. Lack of self-reflection, inability to take your perspective, stand in your shoes. History of conflict and drama in relationships. History denying reality due to effective realism. Reality is what it feels like versus what it is. History of distorting reality, making up new narratives about situations to deal with it. History of impulsive behavior, more feeling than thinking. So they do what feels best. Enmeshment in relationships instead of emotional intimacy, may focus on physical things versus emotional. They do not do emotional work. They do not understand how to repair relationships effectively. This no super ego having lunatic. Now I'm going to talk about this. The LSD is an important part of this because these guys are also tetra-led brains, which comes with anxiety, addiction, psychopathy, neurotic behaviors, and less agreeableness, which is why they cover all that up with charisma, which is why they're disingenuine. The more you know. Now, the LSD tripping at this church and how they LSD enables you to improve your photographic memory. Spoilers. And if you drop enough of it, you can enter altered states, and it removes your ego and yourself, and that's where these people believe they're spiritual beings. The issue I have with that is when I was president, I told the wives I wanted to have sex with Laura Croft and Hannah from Fable 2. Or Hammer from Fable 2. And I did. It's not a joke. They conjured the souls of Laura Croft from Tomb Raider, the PlayStation games with her triangle boobies, and they conjured the soul of Hannah, or Hammer, from Fable 2, and I had sex with them when I was president. LSD isn't spiritual. And I know there's a bunch of children out there watching this going, it is! It's not. And that's how I know it's not spiritual. Because I had sex with completely fabricated, fake characters that didn't exist. Part of growing up is learning how to live in reality. These people are at war with reality. That's why LSD is so important. But I wanted to talk about this really sad truth that Ganon and Stu with his hair teeth and how he enslaves the souls and they're his friends and they love him, which is something you have to tell yourself so you don't feel ashamed of your action. They can't feel guilt or remorse, but they can feel shame. Yes. What are the other psychopaths at this church? Because they are every serial killer in America. They ruin life. They literally just ruin life for everybody. That's what they do. One of the other guys at the church expressed to me he feels an emotion. He doesn't know what it's called. Guy who told me that. The emotion is shame. That is what you feel. It is not guilt. It is not remorse. It is shame. Now, Gannon expressed to me that he murdered all the women I liked, or he perceived I liked, because remember, he murdered a girl that was interested in my brother, and he's so fucking stupid, he murdered her. But the other part was, is she did reject him, and remember, malignant narcissists can't handle rejection, so murdering that girl because they got rejected and they can't handle it because they're imbeciles, like, hand in hand. So, Gannon expresses to me there's this plane where everybody there that he killed is there and they love him and they tell him it's okay, so he doesn't have to feel ashamed. This drug trip is little more than a dream. It's strictly masturbatory. So I replied to him, so you're telling me you caused a bunch of fear and ended people's lives early, you ended their physical experience, and now instead of letting them go to heaven where they can be with their loved ones and friends, you have them enslaved to you and they can't go anywhere. And they're happy because they like being enslaved to you. And he just froze. He's, you don't understand me. And remember Stu, you don't understand me. You're not complicated. We have psychology books written about you guys. It's you that doesn't understand you. Okay? Everything's about how you feel. There's nothing smart about it, nothing intelligent, nothing complex. And the church enables you to do all the horrors you do. Without the church, you would be nothing. Okay? You're not men, because you need the church to exist. If the church wasn't backing you, you would already been dead or in prison a long time ago. A long time ago. This stupidity, and another thing you guys need to think about is, whenever serial killers are arrested and they do go to prison, like the real serial killers, the people who report them mysteriously die, and that's because this church murders them. It's a sad truth. If you catch a serial killer, they murder you, and anybody that survives them is a member of this church. Okay? Not special, not unique, in any form. As Stu said, the church will kill you. If you kill me, I'm important. They need me to rape the babies and murder people. Great. Great. When the wives were giving me the acid trips, my rational brain, my big old monkey brain, they sent me back in time to relive my childhood, but they also let me talk to a bunch of people that were already dead. And you really believe it because they're there in front of you, and there are serious therapeutic uses for this. If you didn't get to talk to your dad before he died, or you said something you wished you didn't, this treatment would be a great treatment for you, to get high on LSD and have these women do their nonsense so you can go speak to people who are dead. But the truth of the matter is there a projection? We did an experiment on a guy, and he was funny as shit because he was like, I met Jesus and he knew everything about me. Jesus knew everything about you because he was in your head and he was you. Okay, you were talking, it was your brain talking to itself. That's how Jesus knew everything about you. Okay, remember the most important, the important truth of all. You're on a drug trip. It's a drug trip. And it ends. I remember when I was talking to the wives and I was like, the leading at this church is as if you had an emotionally stunted person that was told not to do something and they did it to spite the other person anyways. They were like, don't kill people. I'm going to kill as many people as I can. Don't rape women. I'm going to rape as many women as I can. Don't eat their brains. I'm going to eat as many brains as I can. Don't lead and be on drugs 24/7. I'm going to lead and be on drugs 24/7. And when I was speaking with them, they began to slowly note, because I told them when people use drugs, they're running from something. There's something that hurts them they don't want to admit to. They don't want to talk about it, and they don't want to be found out. I was like, it's masking pain. I was like, they're in pain and they're trying to hide it, and these people are in constant pain. They have lead in their brain, and lead causes you to be in constant fucking pain. Okay? It's micro pain, but it is pain nonetheless. You are in constant pain if you have heavy metals in your system. That is why it's a bad idea to drink tetralead. And we got into that conversation about how I believed every church leader was was in pain, and that's why they had to do drugs all the time. And I was like, and they themselves, because they're alien from their own emotions, don't understand their own emotions, and they believe their emotions, because they're emotionally disassociative, are coming from a higher power. They're coming from somewhere else. Ooh. Because they're not smart enough to recognize their own emotions. Because I believe the lead causes a distortion where you don't recognize your own emotions. That's my theory. And this was corroborated when the wives started talking about how every church leader acts out of spite on everyone, including the president who took George Miller's daughter because George made a sideways comment to him. And then what did the president feel? Shame. And he's felt it for a long time, and I bet that's got to get tiring because you can't do enough drugs to outrun the shame because it's always going to be there. That is how shame works. The same shit with Stu where he was like, I kill him, and that kid, or what, Rachel Johnston's brother, that guy, yeah, that kid that went missing. I remember Stu was like, he loves me. No, he doesn't. You murdered him. You're on drugs. All you're doing is drugs. And I have a theory. If you know anything about this, the FBI has a thing. Like, if you ever want the truth out of somebody, you just think about what you want from that person, and they'll tell you. Okay? Part of these drug trips is that. I don't know exactly how that works, whatever energy you're projecting that gets people to tell you what you want to hear, but you use that in LSD and you can control other people's drug trips. I distinctly remember the belly girl explaining it to me, and at the time my N64 brain only had N64 graphics. Yo. Yeah. And, yeah, so, the reason these people kill are stupid. It's all spite. It's all getting back at people, teaching them a lesson, or they just arbitrarily decide they don't like somebody. Okay? There doesn't have to be a logic or a reason behind it. You make me feel a certain way. I'm reactionary. I react without a thought. And they love being mindless. They are mindless. They love being stupid. They love being the stupidest person in the room. One of the things I was talking to the wives about, and we were talking about how serial killers had high IQs, and there was this kind of pause, and they were like, well, they're actually trained. They don't actually have high IQs. We actually train them to be intelligent. So just like you could train a parrot to talk, you could train this mindless creature to do anything, even appear intelligent. But they lack complex thought. And complex thought, in my opinion, is the true God brain. Yeah. I don't know. Like, for real talk. I don't really talk about my feelings, but I really don't understand how something this evil, completely off the rails, stupid, is allowed to exist. Like, even with me signing the perjury, a rational government would have just ignored it. Yeah. But we didn't. Because we have a stupid system that doesn't deliver justice. It just enables people with money and assets to get what they want. If we lived in a just world, that wouldn't be a thing. Yeah. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? No, I guess this one will be a short one. Just that their made-up drug world is a made-up drug world. It is just tetraled and LSD, and them transmitting it through whatever that shit is the FBI uses to get people to tell them the truth.